It's a massive win for Fulham. The first time they've beaten Chelsea in the Premier League since 2006. But it's 3 defeats on the bounce now for Chelsea and 7 defeats in the last 10 games. Tonight we saw Joao Felix pick up a red card on his debut. It goes from bad to worse. Dennis Zakaria gets himself injured as well. And Chelsea are staring down the barrel of disaster. That is, I believe, their seventh defeat so far this season in the Premier League. If you include the FA Cup, if you include the League Cup exit, defeats in the Champions League as well, it is ever growing. And listen, I felt a little sorry for Chelsea tonight because what's the expression? It doesn't rain, it pours for them, and it really does. You can see the league table there. If I scroll up, you'll see them. They're sitting in 10th on 25 points. They are now 10 points behind the top 4. Man United had that game in hand. Tottenham, they're level on points with level on games with Tottenham, but there is an 8-point difference. Almost impossible, it feels, from this stage for Chelsea Football Club to make it into the Champions League again, which is hugely important to them, their club, their progression, the kind of players that they want to sign. And it was the night that started, I thought, okay, that they should have scored in the opening minutes. Joao Felix, by the way, did ball out tonight. Joao Felix played good football. Joao Felix demonstrated why he is who he is. Kai Havertz should have scored. Leno was pulling off save after save after save, but there were some edgy moments at the back. Young Hall, Chalobah, poor defensively tonight. Aspie over the hill. Willian gives them the lead, and they kind of keep themselves in the game, Chelsea, and they keep themselves in a position where they're still, they're still competitive. They're still able to, I don't want to make sure I get the wording on this right, but they're still able to essentially beat Chelsea. So, okay, well, we can come back into this game with Chelsea. We've got quality, we've got class, we'll be okay. And I, excuse me, I did feel as though Chelsea were slowly but surely starting to take a little bit of control in this game. But then Joao Felix stupidly gets himself sent off. And I want to ask you all the question, why do you think he did? Now, obviously, no, he committed a red card offense. It was definitely a red card. But what do you think led to this? I'm intrigued just to get your take on why you think Joao Felix made such a reckless tackle at such an important point of the game. Such an important point of the game. It was such a stupid tackle. And we'll put it up on the screen for you all to see again here. High, makes full contact, sort of almost at knee level on his opponent. But I want to know why you think he did it. It wasn't to hurt the guy. But for me, overcompensating, trying too hard would maybe be the right expression, because he doesn't need to go in that hard. And look, Chelsea, by the way, today press well at times. They showed more aggression, more enthusiasm, more hunger and desire. But you've got to control it. You've all heard me use this expression many times on the terrace. Don't be careless, but don't be too careful either. You've got to find the balance. And Joao Felix picks up a red card. He will now miss the next 3 domestic games, which when you go through there's no League Cup or FA Cup for Chelsea. So he'll miss Palace. He'll miss Liverpool away. And then they play Fulham at home in just a couple of weeks' time. Of course, this is one of the rearranged games because of the Queen's passing. He now misses the next 3 games. He then returns against West Ham, and the pressure's mounted now. But Joao Felix has put a lot of pressure on himself. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Joe Cole's debut for Liverpool. Overcompensated, got himself sent off, and then was always playing catch-up from that point, And I felt a bit sorry for Joao Felix because he was showing Mason Mount levels. He was showing Kai Havertz levels, and you were watching him thinking he could score tonight. And certainly he's going to be a player for Chelsea. Some of his passing on the inside and outside. His shooting wasn't quite in the corners where he wanted it today, but the power was there. It's just a different level of footballer. He's now going to miss the next 3 games. And I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't know when Chelsea's next win comes. Legitimately, I'm not even trying. I'm not even trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not even trying to be over the top. I can't see where the next win comes for Chelsea. As in, I'm confident as a football fan that Chelsea win that football match. Zakaria has been a shining light out, and it's one of those innocuous ones that can be long term. Definitely missing the next couple of games. Joao Felix is now missing. The fact that, and I have to call Graham Potter out here. Why is he picking Mason Mount when you've got, and I want to get the pronunciation right because I don't want to be disrespectful, Chukwumena. Every time I see him play, he looks better than Mount. Why is Mount starting games still for Chelsea? He's awful at the moment. He's got to be dropped. But how can you now, with another injury, legitimately, Chelsea's season is over. It is done and dusted and buried. And if they could declare or throw in the white towel and just practice between now and the summer and give all their points away, I think they would. If there was a way of doing it, they would, because it is dire right now. And Chelsea fans should be frustrated. Chelsea fans should be angry. And Chelsea fans should be demanding the football club makes huge improvements. And they're going to go and throw money at it. But you've got to call out Graham Potter here. He's picking players that are just not of the standard or aren't putting a shift in. Kai Havertz, Mason Mount should not be playing football for Chelsea right now. You may lose with academy players, but at least they're going to give it their all. These boys, for me, again tonight, started well, but they faded. They faded. They really did. And long term, they are just not, irrespective of having minerals, being from the academy, costing record fees at the time, is in Kai Havertz. Chelsea need to get rid of a lot of these guys. You know, you look at that starting lineup tonight. Chalobah, never been good enough. Silva's old, but he'll stay. Koulibaly. Listen, that man is too much, too little, too late. Shouldn't be in the Prem. Aspie should have retired 3 or 4 years ago. Young Hall, let's give him some time. He was poor tonight, but there's some talent in there. Kovacic, meh. Zachariah, I think there's a player in Zachariah. I think you should keep him. Mason Mount, bin Mason Mount. And Kai Havertz, not on your Nelly. And Kepa. Listen, it was a great cross from Andreas Pereira for Chelsea's second goal. Sorry, Fulham's second goal. But if the goalie stays on his line, it's catching practice. He comes off. He's back to making mistakes again now. He had that little run where he looked good, but Kepa's back to being Kepa. He's got to go. So much of it. I know they've got to buy players in this month. I actually think maybe the focus should be getting rid of people. Terminate some contracts. Do something. Make a stand, because these players are going to let Graham Potter down. Equally, Graham Potter's got to stop picking some of them. If Mason Mount and Kai Havertz start your next game, you've got to ask serious questions about who's controlling that team on the pitch. You really do. You really do. Because, look, Graham Potter needs time. Giving a manager time doesn't mean you can't criticize. Those two things, the football terrace isn't polarized like that. We're not hyperbolic like that. Graham Potter needs questioning, because he's picking people that are substandard and he's picking teachers' pets. And look, Mason Mount year one kind of proved me wrong. I remember at the end of the season, I was like, oh, he's a much better player than I thought he was going to be. But you got to keep getting better. Let's have it right. This is Chelsea Football Club. This is Chelsea Football Club, who for 20 years have been the most decorated club, I believe, in the Premier League. Since 2004 to now, for nearly 20 years, I think they've been the most decorated club. That may have changed. City have won a lot recently. One of, though. These players aren't good enough. And just because you have one good season doesn't mean you stop progressing. Doesn't mean you're allowed to not keep getting better. You should always be aiming for players of Terry, Drogba, Lampard, Ballack, Essien, Makalele, Cole. That's the level you should be aiming for. And I know that not everyone's going to be of that standard. I get that. And by the way, not everybody was of that standard that played in that team. But your spine, you have to aim for it. And if they're not of that level, no bullshit fan. Oh, but he's an academy player. Oh, he's a record. Oh, I love him. I love him. Why are Chelsea fans fanboying players? Fanboying is for people that don't support your football club. What you should be doing is saying, look, listen, Mason Mount was good year one, good year two, but he hasn't got to the level we need him to be. And if there's better talent out there on planet Earth, buy them. Come on now. You are Chelsea Football Club. Your Chelsea Football Club, start acting like it. Start acting like it. Set the standards high. Drop this fanboy nonsense. This star boy nonsense. By the way, star boys are not. I need to let everyone know, if you're a person watching this, you think the word star boy means young player. That's not what the slang word star boy means. Hugh Hefner was a star boy. That's what I'm going to say. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, learn what slang actually means before you. I know, like, it's cool to use the in vogue words, but learn what they mean first. Legit. And I feel angry tonight for Chelsea fans. But I'm also angry at some Chelsea fans for not setting high standards at your club. Mason Mount hasn't progressed, get rid. Kai Havertz hasn't progressed, get rid. You've got pensioners out there that shouldn't be there. The fact that Kepa was given a second chance is almost gross negligence. So much needs to change at this club. So much needs to change at this club to progress and go to that next level. It really does. And tonight annoyed me. Daniel here says Chelsea can't catch a break at the moment. Why I'd Potter always choose Mount over Chukwemena. Chukwemena. I think it's Chukwemena. I don't want to tell me I'm saying it wrong, but you know who I mean. Pray for Chelsea. Yeah, that's on Graham Potter. Equally, who the hell runs your medical department? Harold Shipman. Is Harold Shipman running the Chelsea medical department? Because I have never seen the Chuckle Brothers, Mr. Bean. Who is it? Who the hell is the doctor? Who the hell are the physios? You're dropping like flies. Like flies. You don't got to be demanding answers. You've got to be demanding answers. You have to. I hope Felix is enjoying the Chelsea project, is what Jacob has got to say here. I swear it feels that this is not Potter selecting the lineup. Joao Felix just signed and he's already playing, is what Jerome says. I hear you on that. Felix will cost around 2 million in wages and loan fees for his suspension. Bowley's method is throwing money at the recruitment problem with no plan. Facts. Look, I would say this. Joao Felix looked good tonight. The red card was stupid. The recruitment element of him wasn't wrong. But if I'm Todd Bowley tonight, I'm knocking on Potter's door and I'm saying, listen, mate, why Mason Mount? What is it you're seeing that planet Earth doesn't? Joao Felix was fed up of Mount and Havertz, is what Oscar says here. As a Liverpool fan, we are consistently told that spam buying players is key to success. Hashtag FSG out. Well, look, there's a happy medium. Let's not get hyperbolic. Spending money is key, but buying the players a manager wants is also important, and having a clear club plan. I can't keep explaining this to everybody week in, week out. All I can do is watch the goal from the 2021 Champions League final. That's all we've got, is what D. Sanders says here. And Oliver says, I said it before and I'll say it again. Mount and Havertz need to go ASAP. Felix was great. Could have been even better with a superior player around him. Yeah, I mean, there's better quality around him tonight. I mean, Havertz should have scored in the opening, 2 minutes, of the game. Mission escape relegation now. Depression, really, is what Dyke's got to say. Felix wanted a red, Arsenal Man United, so got the card instead of seeing the Cowboys mess. Bowley is going to spend another 200 million with Felix out. What a project, is what Anthony has got to say. Starboy is Jamaican slang for main star. Yeah, it's like main star, someone who's a bit of a player, someone who's a bit of a baller, as in financially a baller, someone who's a little, exactly. Hugh Hefner, you would call. The new phrase for it, everyone's using is top G. Like a star boy and a top. Yeah, you don't need to be young. So, yeah, Marcus Rashford is Man United star boy. Learn to. I love it when people laugh at you using slang and then they don't even know what it means anyway. It's so funny. It is funny. It is funny. There we go. Chelsea are getting. Look, Chelsea aren't getting relegated. They're slow that down. I don't believe Chelsea will get relegated personally. But they're not in good form right now. They are not in good form. Get your comments in, people. Make sure you're smashing the like button as well. If we hit 1,000 likes while we're live, everyone who leaves a comment will go into a live draw to win £100 prize from the Football Terrace. So get smashing the like button. and you might win a little bit of money tonight. How many other YouTube channels give you money? None. You can take the man out of Atletico, but you can't take the Atletico out the man. I'm telling you, Terry, this is Moyes 2.0. Fans won't be able to take this crap. Well, what I will say to your super chat, and where I would say what you're saying holds water, is every time Chelsea drop points after every Chelsea game in the last month, I have seen more and more and more and more people switch to potterout. I've legitimately seen people do that. So I don't think you're wrong to say it. People are switching on Potter game out, week in, week out, and that cannot be, and it will not be denied. It's there. It's a fact. It's undeniable. It's as simple as that. We've got Matt, we've got David to come out and join me soon to discuss tonight's shambolic result for Chelsea. The red card, what does it mean? But I want to talk Mason Mount tonight. I want to talk Mason Mount. I want to talk Kepa. And I want to talk Kai Havertz, because those three players, the fact they're at Chelsea still is an abomination to the football club, an abomination to the history, abomination to every great figure that club has had. And listen, the reason I'm not going to go at Aspie is because Aspie is a Chelsea legend and he deserves some respect. But these guys, yes, they helped you. Well, Kepa didn't. Yes, the other two helped you win a Champions League, and that's massive. Mason Mount in that run was great. But sentimentality in football is a curse. It will push you backwards. There is just no doubt about that. You can't get away from it. So there needs to be some big, big, big changes in this lineup moving forward. Yes, I know there's a new bid for Mudryk. We spoke about it this morning. I know that some journalists have said it's breaking news now, but we spoke about it about 11 o'clock this morning on the Football Terrace. A third bid was going in. So what I will say, Mark, is old news. Keep tuning into the Football Terrace. We had a journalist on. It wasn't me that made the claim, by the way, because I am not a journalist. I'm just the greatest football content creator in the world. Also, my mum tells me. DJ here says, Terry, Chelsea, do a madness and win the Champions League. Love to hear our rivals then. Just joking. But it will be just like the club to do this. Listen, my bro, if you went on from this point to win the Champions League, it would be the greatest comeback story in history. It would be Disney settings. Legitimately Disney settings. It would be one of the biggest twists and plot changes ever. Bigger than I See Dead People. It would be bigger than Jon Snow finding out he's banging his auntie. Do you know what I mean? That is how big of a plot twist this would be. With the squad size and money spent, injuries are excuses. Listen, the injuries play a part, Anthony, I think. The injuries play a part. Let's not get away from that. They definitely do, because there's an abundance of them. But you should still be beating Fulham. You go through the last 10 games alone. Go through the last 10 games. Brighton aren't better than Chelsea. Arsenal, you can take. Man City, you can take. Newcastle, okay, they're playing really well. Bournemouth, scrape past them. Nottingham Forest, get out of here. And Fulham tonight. Like, you played a lot of hard teams in that run. There's no doubt about it. But you weren't even competitive. And the argument that ruins it for people saying it's just about injuries are the reason. Did you all just see what Southampton did to Man City last night? If Southampton, who are bottom of the league, can beat City, if Brentford, who are not, I don't care they're above you in the league, they're not as good as Chelsea. If they can go to the Etihad and get a result, Chelsea can grab a result out of these games. Last year, look how bad Man United were. I tweeted the other day saying, has the top 6 team ever been this bad? And I got a lot of United and Arsenal fans saying, well, I think we were. Go back and look at United last year under Ralph. We still won games. We still beat some big teams. This, in my opinion, because of the performances, money spent, and the style and the approach, the mess the club is in. Honestly, I think this is one of the worst performing top 6 sides I have ever seen. I think the early days under Arteta are a big argument in this. The season where Jose got sacked and you were right down near the bottom, that's in the argument. But legitimately, I think this is one of the worst top 6 teams I've ever seen in my life. Joao will regret not going to United or Arsenal. Chow, is that say Joao Felix? I get that joke now. I couldn't read it earlier. Then I realized what the word was. Terry, it is not unrealistic. They have got injury players back, and the squad they could win the Champions League. I thought you meant about getting relegated at first. I was really interested to see how he's going to spin that they're going to get relegated, because I don't see personally Chelsea getting relegated. I don't personally see that, but we'll see. I'm going to share the link, people, if you want to phone in and have your say and join my little panel on the show. This channel used to be full of Chelsea fans. They don't show up anymore. They don't even DM me back. I don't know why. I don't know where they've gone. Where have all the Chelsea fans gone? Gone to bed, all of that. That doesn't rhyme. I can't think of what rhymes, but they've gone to bed, most of them. Most of them have gone to bed. Or they've stopped watching. Imagine stopping watching your team. I couldn't do that personally. Chelsea are playing crap football right now, and I'm seeing them ending in 17th position if they continue like this. Drawing Nottingham Forest and losing to Fulham is not good enough. And what is next again? I remind myself. Up next, home to Palace in 3 days. Woo! That's Sunday. Oh yeah, it's 2 o'clock game Sunday. That could be a painful one. That could be a painful one indeed. Now, Palace ain't playing that well at the minute. I don't think Palace will win, but there we go. There we go. Viewers, what we're sitting on likewise right now. We're getting closer towards that 1,000 mark, but let's get it over there, my people. Terry, who's better right now, Spurs or Chelsea? I mean, that's a silly question. Spurs are better right now, but only marginally better than Chelsea right now. That's my take, but there we go. Although okay, let's have a little look here. Some member chat. How long does Potter have? But they keep reassuring Potter that he's going nowhere. But if he doesn't start winning, they're gonna have to sack him. Like, it's not. If he loses, say in the next 5 games, 6 games, he loses 4 of them, 5 of them, they're gonna sack him. They're going to. Knee-jerk plan. I don't care. They will. You can't keep losing. Like, I don't know. I'm just getting to a point now where I trusted Todd. There's this little part of me in the back of my head that's just not quite trusting Todd Bowley. Not that I need to. I'm a Man United fan, but it's something about it. Get Mount and Havertz out of my club is what man like Ike says. Terry, I know everyone's saying that Potter needs more time, but he's been at the club long enough to at least know his first 11. Or at least he should be there. He shouldn't be picking people that we know are going to drop stinkers. That's a very fair point. Is Mudryk better than Joao Felix? I don't know. I would say Joao Felix is better, but then we'll see how they perform. Man United to beat Man City on Saturday. Watch out. Glory, glory, Man United. I hope you're right. Remember, we will be live tomorrow night, by the way. I know there's a lot of you tuning in right now. 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Make sure you are all back for the Top 6 show, where we're going to be previewing the North London derby, the Manchester derby, and the Premier League games ahead. I'm very, very excited about it, but I want you all back here tomorrow. So go to the Football Terrace at the end of this stream, and the link's already set up for the show. So go, make sure you're ready to go tomorrow. You're tuning in live, because it's going to be an absolutely, in my opinion, epic show tomorrow with the guests that we've got coming on and everything else. So make sure you're tuning in to the Terrace tomorrow. Please, it would be nice. I'm asking here. Right, I'm bringing out David. Then we're going to start bringing in more and more people to join us one by one throughout the course of the show. But David's here with me first. Big Chelsea fan. What you saying, mate?
Just, if you could replay what I said in the past 2 games, just do it again. Like, it's not going to get better. And I think Chelsea fans have to be honest about that. And they have to strap themselves in and be prepared for this long process, because it is going to be a long process. But one thing this fan base has to do as a collective is drop the love for any player you like who's not performing. I think the only players who deserve any sort of love right now is Thiago Silva and Reece James. The only 2. Maybe Kovacic at a push. But for me, it's like, I've lost it now. Like, Mounts, I love everyone. If you've been a long time viewer of the Terrace, everyone knows how much I love Havertz. I wanted this guy to be that guy, and I said it last show, and I said it the show before. he's not the guy. And unless you build a system that's going to help him in terms of putting loads of runners around him, it's not going to work. And we aren't going to do that. So he's not going to work. So for me, Havertz, he's not good enough. Mount, I said it years ago and no one wanted to listen to me. He ain't good enough. You're all saying he's the next one. He ain't good enough. Gallagher came on. What did he do? Ziyech came on. What did he? All these guys come on and do nothing. Yet every time the guys come on, we expect something different. Nothing makes sense. The team, there's no cohesion. It doesn't make sense. Like, we've got players from Conte and players from Tuchel and players from, I don't even remember who was in the middle, but we've got players from that guy, and they've all come together and they ain't good. They're just not. They're not it. And the standards have to go back to, we need the best player, or at least one of the best players in the world, in each position, or in at least 9 or 10 of those positions. That's why I think Reece James and Thiago Silva, I'd keep, and I wouldn't even mention those guys, because those guys don't deserve this, because they are too. And Ben Chilwell as well, when he's fit. He's not fit enough, which is annoying, but when he plays and he's fit with Reece James, that is a good combination, and Thiago Silva. Everyone else, they've either played well and they're reverting back to type, or they're just playing badly.
Mate, listen, I totally get what you're saying about the players and picking them, and that has got to change massively. And I don't understand, like, Graham Potter can do that. And I'll give you an example. I know Ten Hag had pre-season. I know he brought in some of his players, but he had those first couple of games where he gave Maguire's a chance, Luke Shaw a chance. He played, like, McFred were being used, and they bombed. And all of them, Rashford, the lot, they're all dropped. Rashford and Shaw have worked their way back into the team. Like, Maguire's not even getting back in now, even when there's injuries at centre back. Luke Shaw's playing there. Potter can do that still. Potter can turn around and go, listen, Mount, you're done. Havertz, you're done. Even if it's academy players that come in and give things a go. The worst case scenario is you lose, and you're losing anyway.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense to stick with these guys.
Chukwuemeka came on and was better than Mount and Havertz for 80 minutes, and he came on for 10 minutes. How this kid has not got more games, I don't know. I'm confused. How, I know Hutchinson has come on in a couple of games. He came on against 2 games against Man City, right? We can't create chances anyway. Why are you expecting him to make chances? At least give him a go, because Mount's been doing it for the past 3 years and he hasn't created anything. So why we're going to rely on someone who hasn't been doing it for 3 years when a kid who's 18 came on for 2 games against the best team in the country? You're expecting him to be the next Pedri or Gavi or whatever. You're stupid. At least give him a go against a team that's more of his level and see what he's saying. Yeah. Like Lewis Hall, even though today I don't think he was that great, I thought he was better than the other ones. He wasn't great, and he tried, but he tried, he gave effort. And I know it's like a bad thing, but you can see there's a difference between him and there's a difference between Havertz. There's a difference. The
worst bit will be for Hall if he that's it, doesn't get any more
this is the issue.
That's the feeling. That's the feeling that I think a lot of Chelsea fans have got.
Yeah, he's I think has been our best player over these past 3 games.
Mate, I hear you. Mate, I hear you completely. Going to bring out a bit of a panel now. Matt's coming out to join us. Zion's going to be here. We've got Winter Surfer coming on as well. Nathaniel, we've got Orchie backstage, Chelsea OG, and many more. So we're going to rotate it, keep bringing some Chelsea fans out, because I know you all want to have your say, and this is where the Football Terrace is different from other fan channels. We give you the chance to come on, speak, express yourselves, and tell us what you think. And Phil, me and David are here with you. We're gonna get this show on the road, because I need to know what Chelsea fans are thinking right now. Let's do this. Didn't get everybody out in time because I was all fingers and thumbs. There we go. We're gonna bring some more of you out in a moment. Matt, I want to come to you first as a Chelsea fan. Disastrous night for your boy Kepa.
Obviously, I mean, I'm not going to sit and defend it. It's absolutely horrible once again. And I said back in January, I said Kepa is someone that I can say is becoming a great option. He had a great run, but unfortunately now he's slowing down. I don't know what the problem is. You know, he had such a good run, he has great talent. What's happening? Basic mistake, basic situation. He doesn't want to come out and jump. It's the second time he's done this. I'm so sick of why he's doing this. It's embarrassing to me. But I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at the attack as well. I'm going to look at the midfield, look at the defense. Horrible performance. Horrible performance. Do you want to fix this? Graham Potter needs to go. I'm sorry. Graham Potter out for me because I'm seeing these results. I'm seeing these results continue, but I'm seeing no changes. Nothing's happening. These bums will still play tomorrow. These bums will still play next week. You want to change? You need to get rid of Mason Mount. You need to get rid of Kai Havertz, Aspilicueta. You get rid of these bums who are sticking up this pitch. I said last year, I said 2 years ago, Mason Mount's not no generational talent. I said Mason Mount's the biggest flop in Chelsea history. He's the most overhyped player we've ever had at this club. And people think he's going to become this world-class generational talent are absolutely delusional. He is finished. He needs to get out of this club ASAP with Havertz and take his boyfriend Havertz with him because they are not good enough together. I'm so done with these players. I'm so done with this manager. This manager came in because he was apparently better than what we had. Thomas Tuchel getting sacked was the worst mistake in Chelsea history. I know some of you guys want Thomas Tuchel sacked, but if you wanted him sacked, Graham Potter was not the answer. He was far from it. And you don't get a manager who won in Sweden. That's your only thing is done. You don't get a manager who doesn't have a CV. I don't go ask a homeless person for financial advice. No, because he has no clue what to do. So for me, you want to change this squad, you get rid of this manager because he's made no changes. He's made no tactics. What are we playing? He throws on plays and expects the best from us. And now we've lost more injuries. People say it's an excuse. Injuries is a no excuse for Graham Potter. Because the injuries he has, we missed 1 or 2 players. Reece James is our only good injury that we're missing out. And he's a one-man team. He's the only player in this team that deserves respect. He's the only player in this team who plays for the badge. These other bums can all leave. I'm a massive Jorginho fan, but he has to go. He's done. Aspie, I'm sorry, Terry. I respect Aspie. He's a club legend, but he is finished. He's one of the worst captains I've ever seen in my life, number one. He does nothing on the pitch. Off the pitch, he loses the dressing room left, right, center. He's lost 2 managers already. Get him out of the club. These players need to stand up. Do they know who they're playing for? They're playing for Chelsea, not Brighton, yeah? So stand up or get out. For me, these players need to get out. I'm done with them, Terry. They need to all go. Mason Mount first. Mason Mount, you lead the line, take your boyfriend with you, and get the hell out of here. Because they are finished. They are done, Terry. Same with this manager. They're finished.
I hear you, Matt. Passionate there. I want to go to Winter Surfer. I mean, how much of what Matt just said there do you agree with? Is this about players like Mason Mount finished, and should Graham Potter be sacked?
I can understand where Matt's frustrations are coming from. I'm frustrated as well. I'm ones that are backing Potter, but the thing is, he's making it hard for people to back him because of his decisions in game. He's picking regular players that have let down the 2 previous managers and have not let him down. He kept Havertz on the whole game, and they were trying to play long ball to him when he's not that type of player. Okay? He didn't bring on Fofana. He didn't bring on Aubameyang. He could have made those changes. His changes were too late. He needs to help his own cause. I can understand the frustrations. I really can. I'm frustrated myself. Once again, I just don't understand the regular picking of the players that keep failing. The likes of Mount, the likes of Havertz. Yeah? Why did we have to go to a back 5 against Fulham? Why did we have to do that? You've got Koulibaly playing on the left of a back 3 when we got Balotelli who's left-footed and he could have brought him in. I just don't know what to do. I can understand people saying they want Potter out, they're frustrated, fine. I can understand where David's coming from, where, it's a thing where this club needs this type of project where it needs to have a big overturn. And it's going to be bad before it gets better again. But you're asking football fans to be patient, and you're asking Chelsea fans to be patient, and they're just not. Also, there's so many problems. There's so many problems, but the manager needs to get out of his own head. I think he still thinks he's lucky to get this job, and maybe he is. But he needs to stop thinking like that. He needs to start thinking like a Chelsea manager. And know that he's got the backing of this board, of this ownership. They're backing him with money, and they've backed him and told him that he's not going to lose his job even if they don't get in the top 4. That would instill me with confidence to go into this dressing room and start putting my own philosophy, my own formation, and start then looking and see who can fit what I'm trying to do. But he seems to just be following the same blueprint of picking the same players, and it's not working.
Terry, before we go to the others, I want to piggyback off what Winter Surf said in terms of, and I said it in the last game as well, he needs to stick to a system.
Yes.
Because what he did today is he went looking at this squad, they are better suited to a back three, which I agree with. I completely agree with him. However, you have not been operating under that system, and you are not a pragmatic manager. Stick to your system of 4 at the back. If you think if
What is your
that's the
system, David?
No,
What
no.
is it?
But again, I don't know what his system is. But I would like to believe that this is the thing. My hope is that the club, when they hired him, there was a whole plan, and they knew what they were going to do, and blah blah blah. And when he came in, the first thing he did was went to a back 4, and everyone at Chelsea had been screaming for back 4. Okay, if you're going to do that, I've got no problem with it. But stick to it and play the best players that suit your system. Today, he went and switched up his system to try and suit the players, and he relied on people who have failed people in the past.
Mate,
That's what he did.
You're spot on there. And the problem is, in the other, I don't know, 15 games or so he's managed now, it was this whole case of, even if we play badly, we're sticking to my philosophy. And then in this game, he kind of yields. When you've got half a squad that aren't playing for you, that is a bad move from a power point of view. David Moyes, that's as bad as David Moyes reading a self-help book in front of his team. There's certain things as a manager you don't do. Nathaniel, I don't know, we may have spoke before. I speak to a lot of people. What's your take? You've obviously got Matt here calling for Potter to go. A lot of people not happy that Mason Mount is still playing. What's your take, Nathaniel?
My only hope is that this game was, we just had our leadership meeting about saving our season. Mount, this is your chance. Kai, this is your chance. And hopefully we never see him on the pitch again. I don't know what to say. The performance has been absolutely terrible. I do not want to see them in a Chelsea kit ever again.
Can I just say, do you know what was bad? You know what bad about this game? How bad we played. Our best player got sent off in the 57th minute, and he was still our best player full time.
Yeah, and he just got off the plane yesterday. Like, he just got off the plane. He was our best player this game. He made Havertz and Mount look like 15-year-olds. Kai and Havertz, when Felix left the pitch, I knew nothing was going to happen, because it's the same problem. And Terry, thing is, it took us a year and a half to figure this out, and people still think that Mount and Havertz are good players. They still think that. How when? And the thing is, for me, it would end this debate when they leave. The day they leave is the day our club will be successful again. I said that 4 months ago with Miguel. The day that these bums, Kai Havertz and Mason Mount, leave, is the day Chelsea will start to succeed again.
Again, and you know what's
I hear you on that. Very quickly, I'm going to go with David. Nathaniel, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it, bro. I'm going to recycle some of this panel. Top man, thank you. I'm going to throw. Who am I throwing in? It's so hard to pick. Orchie's coming on, who's a rival. We'll come to him in a minute. But David, to you, and then we're going to speak to Zion.
My point that I was going to go into is, I know it sounds really crazy, and Ram did this a couple of years ago. We all flacked him for it. There was a video that was released of Felix at training yesterday, and he literally played a simple pass and ran forward. And like, all the players looked around and went, "What are you doing?" Like these basic concepts of like attacking players. I'm really worried for Felix, because I feel like he's gonna revert to Mount and Havertz type, where he's just gonna play a ball and do nothing. Because he came on and instantly was our best player. What's it? The stats. Let me just get the stats up quickly. The stats today: he had 6 shots, 4 on target, 2 take-ons, and he won the most fouls. He's been in England for 24 hours. He probably doesn't even know what fish and chips are. How is he outperforming these lads? It doesn't, to me. It doesn't make sense. It just, to me, Havertz and Mount should see Felix and go, "This guy is coming to replace me. I need to up my performance." These guys today, they got worse.
Well, I feel like I'll be fair with them. You conceded a goal from mistakes. I felt like you were pressing harder and working harder in the opening half. You conceded. You kind of got back into the game, but you missed a lot of chances. You started the second half and scored. I thought you were slightly the better team. Personally, like watching it as a neutral without nerves. And I'm sitting there, me and Jess are watching it, and we're like, yeah, Chelsea will win now. We kind of got we were like grabbing each other's arms, like, oh, he's going to get sent off. We knew it was a red. As soon as that tackle went in, you saw it was a red card. As soon as he went off, I was like, the players' heads will go now. Because Joao Felix was making them work harder, because there was oh my God, this guy's going to show us up. And that's the embarrassing bit. It shouldn't take Joao Felix to make 2 Chelsea Champions League winners, and one of them that's from the academy, work hard. That's why there should be no defending them and they should be a bigger focus than Potter because they're part of your club's tapestry and they're taking the proverbial out of you. Zion's here with us, big Chelsea fan. What you saying, mate?
You're right, Terry. We spoke a couple of days ago, and I told you that it doesn't hurt anymore. It's just there's nothing there, legit. I mean, this is why I wanted the World Cup to come, as soon as possible, because this team has not been performing, and it just shows it today as well. Some of these players should not be at the club, and you can't blame the players because the players aren't picking themselves. The manager picks these players. And if the managers keep picking Mount, Havertz, the likes of, Koulibaly, you can't then come out and tell the players, slander them. Obviously, you can slander their performance, but the manager is picking these players. And I can't believe it. A 38-year-old Thiago Silva's, showing up this entire defense. Felix has just come to England within 24 hours and showing what quality actually is in the attack. And, it just shows that, he was trapped at Atletico and he's finally come to a club where he can release himself, but he's got absolute idiots around him. So at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt anymore. And there's nothing there. I mean, Chelsea right now, you might say it's a process. You've got to back it. Like I said, it's a process. Okay, you back it. But how long do you back it for? How long can you continue with this? You cannot, at this rate, if we're not careful, we could drop majorly down the table. And I'm in 17th, 16th place. You know what I mean? I mean, if we can't beat teams like Forest, Fulham, and just about beat Bournemouth, what do you expect when you go to Anfield? What do you expect when you go to Emirates? It's an absolute joke. And this club is not only, showing up the fans, but there's no clue. Bowley's just spending money like he's buying presents for all these players. I mean, what the hell are they doing? And I don't really, I can't really say anything about Potter because I got to give him at least until the end of the season. But the way that he's going, he's not helping himself right now by picking these players. He is not helping himself big time.
No, listen, I hear you. I completely do. Zion, thank you for joining us, mate. I appreciate it, buddy.
Cheers,
and we'll chat to you again soon. Top man. We're going to add... oh God, I don't even know who to add. There's so many people. DR's joining us now. We've got Indiana coming soon, over one as well. But I want to get a rival take on this. Orchie is a Spurs fan, and if you're new to the terrace, rivals talk about your clubs here as well. We're the original Top 6 channel. What are you saying, Orchie? Obviously, about Chelsea's performance and the direction they're going in right now.
Yeah, I completely understand the frustrations because I totally get the point about the injuries that they have, and it seems like every game they picking up more and more injuries. But I do agree that some of these younger players. I think Potter, he's already got a kind of like a ready-made excuse there in terms of the injured players. So I think to really shake up, I think I can understand the pressure that he's under, but he needs to really shake things up, and I think. Certainly, like they're saying, these certain players like Mount, etc., who are not performing. I think to really kind of put his stamp on the team, put his stamp on the process. I think he's got nobody should be guaranteed a place when he's going through this kind of process. And some of those younger players, give them a chance. At least they're going to be really, like people are saying, people like when they've come on in some recent games, they've, done better than some of the so-called more established players. But yeah, it's, he's, you kind of look at it and you think, well, he's definitely under pressure, isn't he? At the end of the day, because he's already got a lot of fans calling for his head. Now, I personally don't think that he needs. I do believe that he needs to be given more of a chance. Like you just look at Arsenal. The last 3 seasons previous to this season, Arteta, he came 8th, and then 5th. And last year, especially the way they lost the top 4 to Tottenham, a lot of Arsenal fans were calling for his head. But if you kind of stick with the, this, if you have to trust the manager and you have to give him a few. transfer windows to really kind of put his stamp on the team. And then, but in this day and age, for a team like Chelsea, you know, is any manager going to get that kind of time? Probably not. But there's certainly several things that are conspiring against him. And I do feel a little bit sorry for Potter, but at the same time, I do agree that with some of his decisions, a bit like Conte, like for Tottenham, you know, like this situation with Jed Spence, for example, right wing back is an area that we have a problem with. And, you know, for example, we brought in someone like Jed Spence. Now, Emerson Royale is absolutely dog shit, and we hate the guy. Doherty is, you know, he's not consistent enough. Why not give someone like Spence a chance? Why not give him a run? He's not going to be any worse than Emerson Royale, but he doesn't, and that frustrates us as well. But you know,
like again, this is Chelsea, so I don't want to get into Tottenham, but you know what you would get with Conte in terms of he sticks to whatever he's got. So to me, that makes sense. With Potter, to me, that doesn't make sense. That this guy was like the biggest advocate for youth at Brighton.
Yeah.
So why is he not like? We have one of the best academies in the world. Use it. Like, please, like, use like.
But it's not just that though. It's about like Orchie was saying that, you know, give Arteta time and give, you know, these players time. I can't give a manager time who's not showing me anything. I'm willing to give manager. I'm willing to take an L this season and, you know, give us 2 more seasons. But he's not showing me anything that we're in a process. If you want to be a process, you got to get rid of these players, because I think every Chelsea comes together when we know these players are the problem. So for the games to change, for the wins to start happening, you need to get rid of players. So for me to trust this manager, I need to see players gone. Don't splash cash on a centre back that we, you know, don't really need. What we need is these players to go. So I would start trusting Potter when he starts to get rid of players. But he had a whole month for the World Cup to dictate tactics, formations, who he wants, who he doesn't want, but nothing's happened. The window's open. He can get rid of players all he wants there, but no one's leaving, and that's the problem for me.
I'd like to get rid of people, but let's be honest, it is not going to be easy to get rid of Havertz. Like, it's not going to be easy to get him out. What you'd like to see is him replace those players and then bring them on and try. That's what you prefer.
But then sub him off. Then just don't play him.
You've got to do one or two. I mean, yes, you're going to take a loss on him, but you've got to get rid of some of these players. Dan here says Ten Hag has players from Jose Mourinho's era. In fairness, he has players from Fergie's era still. Fergie's been gone a decade. No excuses. Potter needs to move mad right now. Players aren't even trying. Effort above anything else. And the young players have that. The young players certainly have been showing that. Stamford Bridge is a bridge we all got over, is what Bios says here. Who will want to sign for Chelsea? Rice won't join. Do Chelsea fans worry? I mean, I know not everyone rates Declan Rice, but are any of you worried that you won't be able to attract the top talent in the summer if you miss? Because you are going to miss out on a Champions League place. There is just no way Chelsea are leapfrogging Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United. I just don't see you being better between now and the end of the season than all of them. You know,
well,
are you worried about
Cuckoo? And Cuckoo's signed, so and Cuckoo's done. So I don't think the issue will be. Listen, as much as players say they like to play in the Champions League, what makes the world go round is money in their bank account. So, do you know what I mean? We signed Kante when we weren't in the Champions League. We were out of Europe. Do you know what I mean? I really don't think it would affect it. What might put players off is seeing this season and then seeing if Potter's. I don't know what Potter's pulling power is. I don't know if he has any pulling power. But that's the thing. Do you want to come in and still see these type of players in there? Also, knowing that no matter what some of these players do, they get picked regularly. Do you know what I mean? No matter how bad they perform, I knew, and I bet across everyone here, the Chelsea fan, I knew Joao Felix was starting up front today with Mount and Havertz around him. I knew that was going to happen, right? I was calling maybe start the Fofana kid because I doubt Fulham have even done any scouting on him. No one knows what he can do, right? Or at least bring him on. But that's going to be a problem as well, knowing that if those players are still there, they're going to get picked. I want him to do what Ten Hag did. Ten Hag walked in with his big bollocks and said, after 2 games, I don't care what you've done in the past of this club. I'm playing who I want to play. And that's what he should have come in and done. None of this touchy-feely emotional intelligence crap. He should have come in and said, you know what? You failed the 2 previous managers. These guys have hired me. I'm their man. This is a new Chelsea. This is my Chelsea. And I don't care what you've done in the past. I don't care you scored a Champions League winning goal. That means sweet FA to me. I need to do. It's just frustrating.
Mate, I do hear you completely. David here says Chelsea are the only team that I know that will get worse the more they invest. Chelsea will be on the decline for the next decade. That Felix debut, lol. It did. Do you know what that? I mean, I don't know if he's a better player. It reminded me so much of Joe Cole's debut for Liverpool. It gave me Joe Cole for Liverpool vibes, where he was running around, he was involved. He nearly scored a penalty. Obviously, Joe Cole I'm talking about nearly scored, and then he bad tackle with the overexcitement.
Why is a forward doing a tackle like that in the first place?
Because the reason why is because Koulibaly stitched him up. That ball he played to him was absolutely shocking. It was awful.
But he should have done the tackle. I know the bars would have been bad, but I'm sorry, I don't want a forward doing. Forwards aren't there to do tackles. I don't care.
No, I hear you on that. London here says even Voldemort couldn't inflict this much damage on a Potter. This is like a slow death. Felix enjoying the Chelsea project so much he'll be out for 3 games. And Maz says I started betting against Chelsea and now is winning me money these days. Last time I said I would love to see Chelsea and Spurs go down. Now 1 down, 1 to go. Thanks, Terry, for the show. Come on, you gooners. Of course, rivals coming here to banter them. DR's with us. What are you saying, DR?
London Bridge is burning. It's burning real bad. Listen, Potter, bro, I know he's cooking something in that cauldron, but it's just blowing up in his face. Go back to Hogwarts. Go back to what you were doing at Brighton. Please. You were doing back fours. He had so many formations, and I'm not seeing it. Why are you not playing Chukwuemeka? Why are you still playing Havertz? Why are you still playing Mount? You know what's crazy? I've never in my life seen a player on their debut get 3 shots. I don't know if they were on target within 15 minutes. I leave the game. I come back like around 85 minutes. I'm saying 2-1, red card, injured. I'm hearing Zakari is injured. Oh, Lord. That's 11 players. We have a starting 11 of injuries. What I'm very concerned about, and I said this in these donations, is Graham Potter's ruthless. Is the job too big for him? And it's looking like it might be. I think he's got the ability. I think he's got the talent. He had way more potential than David Moyes did with what he was doing back then. This guy had he was getting big shouts, big call outs. He had potential, bro. I know he's a tactical genius, but this is looking stupid. I don't know if it's player contract clauses forcing them to play forcing him to play these type of players. But why on a debut? This screams Lampard when he played Thiago Silva and made him the captain against West Brom. Why on the debut are you playing Joao Felix? Why? Fofana's here. He's been playing. Play him. One of the reasons why we struggle is that we don't have dynamic. We don't have dynamics with pace and power and skill. Fofana has that, man. You don't need to play Havertz and Mount up top with Joao Felix. Who's the striker? Who is the striker in that front three? Thiago Silva is the only one, and Reece James. They're the only 2 players that deserve to be called superstars, stars. Well, they're the only ones that don't need to get touched. You do Mason Mount. You do not hold this club ransom for 300k. You don't deserve the 300k. You do not deserve 300k. I back this guy. I back Mason Mount heavy, but he does not deserve 300k. 300 racks for what? You can't play passes. You can't even shoot anymore. You do not deserve 300k. That's a joke. Why is it our best players are our lone players? It's Joao Felix and it's Zakaria. Now he's injured. Bro, we are in a relegation race. This is a relegation race. This is relegation form. This is relegation form.
You're talking. We're not in a relegation fight.
This is relegation form. We have lost one.
It's relegation form, but we're not in a relegation fight.
But
we're not in a relegation.
This carries on.
Stop being hyperbolic and use your brain. We're not in a relegation fight, okay?
If this carries on, we are in serious trouble.
You honestly believe we're in a relegation fight?
At this rate,
You're buffering. You're buffering.
I can't.
Respectfully,
I
you're
can't back it. Like, we can
Yeah,
win games.
yeah. Look. The thing is, you're definitely not going down. There's a lot of bad teams. However, I mean, I would say what is a big possibility is finishing completely outside of Europe. I mean, 110% outside of Europe.
Good.
We don't need it. We don't need it.
Well,
We don't need it.
Last time that happened, they went on and won the league next season. So
well, that's going to be the mantra, isn't it? It definitely is. Listen, DR, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it. Thank you. Indiana is joining us now, and also Orti, thank you for coming on, mate, and talking to us. I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Thanks.
And Ober1 is here with us as well. Indiana, what are you saying, bro? What are you saying?
It's really simple for me. I see a man who's done an outstanding job at Brighton, and that's his level. These players are not interested in playing football. They're not interested in working manager. They can't string passes together. I'm some simple passes that Scott McTominay will pull off in his sleep. In his sleep, like through balls, the runs are all good in front. These players just don't care. They do not care. I'm telling you, they are not buying what Potter is selling them. They are not buying it at all. And I'm not having the excuses of injuries, by the way. Manchester United have been playing McFred and finishing above Chelsea season upon season. I'm not having that excuse. Great managers work it out. They find a way to make it work. There's still a lot of talent in that Chelsea squad, especially defensively. You shouldn't be leaking goals the way you're leaking goals. It's embarrassing, really. Let's be honest here. It's embarrassing. Recruitment is a problem. I cannot believe that Graham Potter wanted to go out and buy a forward. I don't think any manager will want to do that. How much power does he have? How much power does he have as a manager at Chelsea Football Club? I don't think you're going to get rid of him because I think he's got, a 4.5-year contract? Is he going to get paid off like that? I don't know about that. I can't see it. I think he's probably going to get another summer window, and then you're going to be in a mess for the start of next season, and then you'll probably get someone like a Pochin. But for me, these players, they can't even... Kovacic can't even string together. These players are not buying what he's selling. And the quality of some of these players... I look at Mason Mount, I look at Havertz, and anybody who's heard me speak before knows I'm not Mason Mount's biggest fan. I don't really get it. But it makes no sense. Like, even his lineups, the way he sets up, it makes no sense. I haven't seen one Chelsea fan turn around and go, I love this lineup. You know, when you look on Twitter and look on social media, people are like, they see their lineup of their team, and everyone's putting fire emojis up. Oh, I love this. I can't wait for the game. What have you? Not one Chelsea fan's happy with it. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And I'm telling you, these players are not buying what Potter is selling. None of them. They are not up for it. Forget the youth. Any youth players come in and want to perform. They want to play first team football. Forget that. But your experienced players, the players that have won Champions League trophies, have fought in the league, are not interested in playing football. They're not interested. There are big problems at Chelsea.
I hear you completely. I do. Ober1's here with us. What are you saying, mate?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty calm. It's like I don't feel too stressed because I think we're kind of focusing on the wrong thing. Because what's the common denominator? Like, honestly, even before when Tuchel left, how were we playing? Like, how were the players performing? Like, the players have not been performing since
Real Madrid second leg final whistle.
Yes, since Real Madrid second leg. So I think we're getting distracted on Potter. And yes, Potter needs to get things, figure things out, patch things up, make better decisions when it comes to players. But let's get it right. Like, the players that have been here are the issues. Like, they are the common denominator. They've been the same players through Lampard, through Sarri, through all these managers. And we just get distracted because the manager, then we fire the manager, we keep some of the players because the new manager comes in. And I think, honestly, Bowley's going to get rid of a lot of these players come summer. It's just, we just have to be patient and wait. You can't get rid of players in January, especially players on big contracts. Like, clubs aren't going to, come and buy players like that. So I think we're just getting distracted. And
I think we all accept that we're not going to get rid of these players in January. Yeah, we all accept that. I think the main issue is, I think we all agree on, is that these players keep getting picked. Some of these players.
Yeah,
that's the main.
Do you know?
Again,
can't sell on bench.
But I think, but quickly on that, right? I think if you look at Potter when he came in, you got I kind of think about it like this. He had his like whiteboard. He kind of had a vision like, oh, I have Reece James. I have all these. Oh, I have Conte. I have all these players. So he probably 1 week he wrote down, this is what my 11. This is what I believe will be the players I could play this way. One player goes out and gets injured, and then he has to switch it up. Or then what will happen is like a Mount will play well in one game. He'll score a goal. So now it's like, well, I have to continue playing Mount. He played well in the last game. So I think that's the dynamic he's been dealing with. There's just been a lot of not consistency and like injuries and players coming in and out. And he can't play his best 11. But like I said, there's still things he could do better in the moment. But I think it's just a lot of things we're not accounting for.
I was going to say,
I don't think that's an excuse. I'm sorry, I don't think that's an excuse. I'm seeing Aaron Wan-Bissaka playing well for Manchester United, Marcus Rashford killing it for Manchester United after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ralph Rangnick. I seen Thomas Tuchel come into Chelsea and win the Champions League after Frank Lampard. I don't think it's an excuse. Don't get me wrong, there's player power at Chelsea and it's a problem. It's always been a problem. But a top manager comes in with a new owner, couple of players in, and he gets them playing well for the first season at least.
Yeah, I think he's actually running out of players in which he can drop these players for. Because we have, I think it's 13 players who aren't available. Like, and I know we want to sit there and be like, it's not an issue. However, if you want to rotate your squad to see who's performing and who's not, if half of them are missing, you've got to use the other half. We can't just not field people.
But David,
yes, we say, and I know we say play the youth, but there's only so much youth that's actually ready. We're not going to put out a random 16.
No, but David, if a player's not performing, you tell them you're being dropped because you are not performing, and we are here to.
I don't care who it is. You drop him, David.
No, because you will care who it is. I know it's great to say, I don't care.
David, I really don't. I don't care who it is.
Matt, you love Kepa, bro.
You definitely will care.
Well, who you drop him for?
Huh?
Who for?
Yeah, but you're by.
That was my point.
I'm saying the real problem. You drop Mount. Go for Chukwuemeka. You want the under 15. Put the under 15 on for man. I want to care.
No, but again, by your logic, you should like Kepa. You don't care who gets dropped for Kepa because he's not performing. Yeah, but you just said you do. So you
I said no. I didn't say I don't know. I said for who?
Again. I said
for who?
I think, but this. You're agreeing with me. You're agreeing with me.
Yeah, I'm not saying Kepa should be staying. If Kepa gets dropped, I'm not going to complain. If Kepa gets dropped, I'm not going to complain.
I think it's
okay. I think we're getting.
I know. Listen.
Yeah,
but this is the thing.
I agree. I agree that Mount and Havertz should have been dropped. Chukwuemeka exists. Hutchinson exists. All these guys exist. There are definitely players in those.
Yeah, like, I do get the point that he's running out, but 3 or 4 of those injuries that happened in the last couple of games, he was making. You've been losing 10, 11 games, and I've seen multiple fan bases do this year when Spurs fans are, look, it's since we lost a couple of players that we've been playing this badly. No, you didn't have those injuries against Chelsea at the beginning of the season. You know, everybody's got these little excuses. I remember Liverpool fans a few months ago saying, once Thiago's back, you ain't going to see us playing badly. Like, I think just saying I still think you'll be losing the games and underperforming, even with a pretty much full squad. You'd have won some more of these games because of the individual brilliance that these players possess. But you know as well as I do that in the era we're in, sustainable performances is what you have to.
The difference with Potter is he just came in mid-season. That's the big difference. He came in literally like 6 games into a season. He doesn't have a preseason. He didn't have time to like set. So like, what I mean is like other coaches, like let's say Klopp, when he had his injury crisis, he still had he had already instilled of like, way of play. This is how we, and set up. With Potter, he comes in and probably has an idea of what he wants to do, but can't get that rolling. Like the ball can't get rolling until we actually have a break, which means like, I blame the Williams. I think we should actually. This is more so Bowley put Potter in this position to have to deal with this.
I'm going to know this. Right? He had a bulk of players during the World Cup. He was able to work with and train with, right? Mm-hmm. Why didn't he start with most of them and slowly then introduce the World Cup players back once they earned their place? Instead, he jumped them all in.
Like who?
And it was the same result as before.
Like who?
I would have done that. I've worked with these players for 4 weeks while you've been away. We've done this and that. I'm going to try these out and slowly introduce you back.
Well, what's funny though? Like, I remember a lot of fans saying when after the World Cup, Ziyech played well. Pulisic played well. Kovac has played well. Oh, we should
Yeah.
actually play them.
Yep.
Like they need to start right away. Get them in the squad right away. So it's like,
I heard a lot of that.
No, wait. Why isn't he ripping players off the pitch? I don't understand this. If you're gonna if you're gonna want hang on a minute, if you're gonna want something out of your players, if you're gonna want to set the tone and set the standard, then what you do is 20, 30 minutes in, if a player's playing as bad as he did the last game, make a point, take him off the pitch and play a player in his position and let him.
That's what a manager does. He's not a manager, man. He's a yes man.
That's it, though, isn't it?
That's the problem. That's the problem.
like,
This is
come
a
on,
much
guys.
bigger
I think we're
job
picking and
than
choosing.
Brighton.
This is what I'm
For
saying.
example,
I don't think that anyone is sat here defending Graham Potter saying this guy is infallible and has made no mistakes.
Yeah,
I just think
let's get
that
past
I think there's people like Matt who was like, I'm just done with this guy. I want him gone. And there are people like me where it's like, yeah, is it bad? Yes, but realistically, I'm looking at other options and I'm going, I don't think it's actually worth doing what you're saying to do. I think there's like a mixture of fans right now. So
we have a super chat here. It says people forget Arteta showed he was a winner when he won the FA Cup in his first season. I don't think he's on the same trajectory. Nima
that's
says
such rubbish. That was a project restart. No fans.
It is hard to go like for like on these things. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I do. Listen, viewers, I want to say a big thank you to all. I know there's loads more people backstage. I can't take any more calls tonight. But we're back live tomorrow. We've got so many shows tomorrow. Transfer news in the morning. My preview for the North London derby. Top 6 show at 6 o'clock as well. Yes, Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I just actually have one quick question because I wanted to ask this when I came on. What's the percentage to blame quickly? Coaches, players, owners, out of 100%. Everybody on the panel.
I'm sorry, for me, it's the manager.
50%. 50%
60-40 to the manager, man.
Well, I would go 50% players, 25 owners, manager.
I'd have said 60% players, 20 players with manager.
I'm sorry, but if the manager knows these players are arse, he has to do something about it.
Yeah,
bench him, drop him.
Hang
on, but who's the worst player in the team right now? For me, who's the worst player?
Matt, I understand what you're saying, but you have to think like, I understand we think it's so simple as to just take these players out and do this and do that. Like we think it's that simple.
I'm sorry, no, it's easier to bench Mount for the next
because you've been saying for the past 2 years, drop Mason Mount, he's not good enough. Yeah, all the managers, so that's Lampard and that's Tuchel, have all kept picking him. And I'm not
that's
saying
the problem. That's the
David. Can I
say?
Hold on. And you guys know,
they've been doing that
you
at
guys know
Manchester United with Scott McTominay for the last few seasons.
But you know,
he's a bad player. I have a very
Mount. It's not that again. You guys know I don't like Mason Mount. I don't think he's been good for ages. I'm not here defending him. My point is that it's not as simple as take this guy out and put this guy in. It's not. Because if it was, every manager in the world would do it.
Yeah,
and every single club have all these clubs, when they have these issues, have the exact same problem of, just get rid of this guy and put this guy in. It's not that simple.
David, if you said that to me in August, I would understand. David, if you said to me in August, I would understand. But it's been 6-7 months with the same problem happening. I'm not saying to get them all rid at once, slowly get rid of them, but at least make a change. Mason Mount keeps starting week in week, and it's not just Mason Mount. There's a lot of other ones as well, David. And for me, is look at another position right back then. You see, I'll use another example. Aspie, yeah, he keeps playing week in, week out. Why isn't he going to get another option for him? Instead, we go buy a centre back, and now we're looking at a striker through him. It's the personnel you have to pick as well.
I agree, but how is that Potter's fault? Because he's not in charge of the transfers.
Is he or is he not?
David, I don't think it's removing.
We've had a whole
committee.
That's not a manager.
We have a whole backroom staff.
That's what we wanted. We wanted to have structure. We get structure. Now we're complaining. Why isn't
Potter? If you're a manager. No, if you're a manager like Ten Hag has done, these guys that you say trust the process have done, they will be demanding. And I'm saying Potter, for me, needs to be more demanding.
Man City have a good backroom structure. That's why they're so well ran. Even Liverpool.
But Pep ends up saying, Pep is the first man who says, I want A, B, C, right? Ten Hag says, I want A, B, C, go on, D, F, E, F, G, in. But Potter does not know what he wants in.
Guy. And actually, Matt, can you actually answer my question? The breakdown, players, owners,
for me, majority, I'll say 50% on the manager. So high percent of the manager, 25. I agree with 25 owner, 25 because these players are shit. These players are shit in general. So there's no comeback from them for me, unfortunately.
Why are we saying players need to be ripped out the team? I'm on the side of put some fire in their bellies. Like get them off the pitch. Tell them why they're off the pitch, why they're not playing. Make them hungry.
Do you know what
We
I
can
was
do that
working
in general. That's what you need a
You know
manager
what I
for.
was saying, Deanna? I think you're right in that mindset. The manager's got to do that. But I think there's a lot of players at this club right now. Some of these guys signed to play for Sarri. Some of them signed. Kante would actually work hard to play for Jose. You've got players that signed up for a completely different Chelsea to what it is now, and there's no buy-in. And I think he needs to work out who isn't working hard and saying, "Do you know what? You're done out here. I'd rather play a kid," because at least Chelsea fans will clap it. Like Hall tonight had a bad game, but Chelsea fans will clap him off because he worked his backside off. And that's the very least that you would expect. What I will say is this one, people, great debate. We are back tomorrow, as I've already mentioned. Transfer news, my preview for the North London derby, and the top 6 show live at 6 p.m. So go to the Football Terrace homepage now. Bookmark that. We've got a Chelsea fan on tomorrow night as well. So we're talking all the clubs, but previewing the derbies as well. So make sure you're back 6 p.m. tomorrow night. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless.
Players out.